We talk about tackles here, and this is something that seeing a lot of right now. And we talk about reports. We love Nate Taylor. We think Nate Taylor's done a fantastic job as a beat reporter for the Chiefs. But let's just say this offseason so far, not his finest work yet. But obviously he's getting this information from somewhere, a reliable source. They just happen to be wrong so far. But he reported that the Chiefs are going to make a big play at Ronnie Stanley. Quote, Stanley's experience and value in both the run and pass game when healthy are why the Chiefs believe he can be a major upgrade at the position and also be a dependable starter for multiple years. Now, Bob Fescoe on the 610 radio, Chiefs Kansas City 610 radio, said that he knows that Clark Hunt wants to throw money at the left tackle spot. He wants to solve that this offseason, and he wants to throw it at it. This is 2 days ago before the Thuney trade. So the fact that he was saying this 2 days ago that they want to throw money at this left tackle spot tells you two things. Tells you, one, they don't want to draft a left tackle. They want to get a guy who's, a bona fide left tackle. And two, that they want to spend money on it. And now, this is before, obviously, at the time, like, wait, what? We don't have money to throw at a left tackle. So we're going to spend all of our money on the front. So now you open up money by trading Thuney. Now you get that extra cash. Now you can go get somebody. Now, JD, I know we just talked about DJ Humphries, but do you think Ronnie Stanley is the left tackle on the market? I know we talked about Cam Robinson being out there. I forget the Steelers guy's name, but a lot of people are fans of the young Steelers left tackle. I think it's Dan Moore, I believe. His name is. But Dan Moore, Cam Robinson, Ronnie Stanley. But obviously, we like Ronnie. The Chiefs reportedly like Ronnie Stanley to be the left tackle, and that's the guy they're going to go after once the legal tampering begins on Monday. What are your thoughts on Ronnie Stanley? Do you think he is the guy of this free agency class?
Look, I'm gonna be honest, man. I haven't done my homework on him to make that to make that assessment. What I do know is there were certain guys. Like Larry Johnson, was one. Larry was a guy that could have been a good fit for us. We talk about Cam could be a good fit. I think he's kind of become a journeyman, being traded up in Minnesota. He might, like you said, getting that, their relationship back with his boy on the other side. That could be a way to go. But like Stanley, I don't know too much about him, to be honest with you, to make that decision, Marcus. I had to look at his tape and then tell you. But what I did do, I did go, like, I hate going to PFF and just checking it out. But it is, I see where he was rated. And that's kind of some things. Hey, man, you know how they do what it was that he throws his hand up like, hey, I don't know. Right. I'm just saying. So he may not be the answer. I have no idea with this right here, how it's been working. He could be. I just, like I said, I don't know too much. I don't know about him. I don't know much about him.
So okay, I guess based on, so the way I was looking at the available left tackles, right? He's looking at where they played. So last year, Cam Robinson played for Minnesota, had one of the best passing offenses in the league last year, one of the best offenses in the league last year. Darnold was an MVP candidate.
Yes.
And Cam Robinson, I think he had 9 penalties in total last year. And just looking at the overall offense, I mean, Darnold had a career year. They threw the ball a lot. And then you look at Ronnie Stanley on the other side going to the Ravens. Now, there's two things that I think about with this. Obviously, a couple of years ago, we traded with the Baltimore Ravens to get Orlando Brown Jr.
Right.
And I don't know, curious where your thoughts are. So we seek out the Ravens to get Orlando Brown Jr. Stanley was coming back from the injury, so they got their guy back. Stanley comes back and goes back to their left tackle spot. So we get Orlando Brown.
Okay, that's right. Correct.
There's obviously something that we like about Baltimore's guys. So the fact that we went for Orlando Brown Jr., that worked out for a couple of years. We don't want to pay him the long-term deal that he wanted. Now we want to go after the Ravens guy again. What is it? Obviously, they have different systems. They have Todd Monken now. At the time, they had who's the OC? Who's the OC? Is the Chargers OC now? I forget. But anyway, different offensive coordinator, but still they produce good offensive linemen. Now, is that something you think they like something about the Ravens guys in the trenches to go from Orlando Brown Jr. and then once that's done, they're like, you know what, Ryan Stanley's a free agent, let's go get him. Is it something that they do that you think that we kind of like?
No, I think it's all about the guys, ability. I think it's what they're really looking for. So it doesn't necessarily mean that like guys from particular places. Do they have maybe better deals with people? Sure, maybe, possibly. That they know they might get a sweeter deal from a guy like Stanley. I remember him moving, like you said, from the right to the left when Orlando Brown Jr. left. I do remember that, but he has been hurt, and so that's what Mike Brennan was talking about. Hasn't been missed a couple of games the past few seasons. Yes, they're more so of a running team, if you will, than the Chiefs. They're not going to drop back 40 times a game, 45 times a game. Can he handle that in a game? That still remains to be seen. You weren't doing that when you handed the ball off to King Henry and you're letting Lamar take off when he needs to, for Hill for the short passes. So I don't know. Does he fit into our system? That's really something they had to be able to answer. So I don't know, Marcus. I really don't know, but I don't think it's something that we say, hey, we like your guys better than everybody else. I think it goes to the best available left tackle in the free agency market, right? That's what it boils down to. So,
yeah, I will say, I mean, if they are going to go the veteran route, let's say they don't go because one of the things is a lot of Chief fans are saying if we trade Thuney and we're going to go get a kind of a bargain bin kind of left tackle, like a DJ Humphries kind of guy, then what the hell is the point of trading Joe Thuney? You're saving $16 million. A lot of people are just scared that Clark Hunt just wants to, recoup some of his cash. But nonetheless, obviously they're going to make a play for Ronnie Stanley. Now, Ronnie Stanley, obviously Lamar's Lamar, right? So that's an MVP caliber, MVP guy every year, it seems like. And then Cam Robinson, Sam Darnold had one of his best years. Look at Cam Robinson. Actually, with Cam Robinson and Juwan were there the last year Juwan was in Jacksonville, that was Trevor Lawrence's best year. So like you could find, the positives behind both these guys. I think Spot Track has Cam Robinson making about 14 a year. That's based on the projection. And I believe Ronnie Stanley is a little bit more than that, about 17 to 18 a year is what they're which makes the whole Thuney 16 million pretty good. But that's, yeah. I just say this. I like what those left tackles have done, the offenses they've come from. And, it's just, and also too, whether you get Cam Robinson or Ronnie Stanley, that solves our left tackle problem for at least a couple of years. They're both guys, but both like 28, 29, 30. They're not old guys.
No, they're not old guys, but does it solve? That's the question. You could put a guy in there. Doesn't mean he's the right guy. I don't think it solves anything until you actually have the right dude that can sit back and kick back for 45 passes a game and do a great job. Take down on penalties, make sure that he's protecting Patrick Mahomes. That's what you want to be able to do. So does that solve the problem? You just can't get a guy. And so that's what I was sitting there saying. That's why I'm kind of making an argument about like a DJ Humphries. I don't think he's just a guy. Okay. He's played Pro Bowl caliber before. He's hurt last year. But if he's anything that he used to be for a couple of years ago, that he could get healthy and still show that, and for less money, sure. And if the same thing, I don't, everybody said they don't trust Donovan Smith because Donovan Smith just decided to come from Tibet and come at it from, Shaolin, that he wanted to make sure that he's all right, right? Hopefully that's what he's been up there with the monks and stuff, getting himself together. If that's the way you want to go, sure. But, the question is, does it solve it? You have to have the right guy. You have to. So I just think that if they're okay with that, by all means, I'm right there with them. I'm on board with them if that's what they'd agree with, But like I said, if you're trying to save money, because there's other needs we have though too, Marcus. There's other guys. There's other guys we need to talk about. What are we gonna do with Bolton? What are we gonna do with Reed? There's other people we need to talk about signing. So no cheaters over there, JD. None. Zero. That's right. You got to go see the monk. We're gonna go do that sensei. So
you're, I guess, trying to read between the lines here, right? So you're saying DJ Humphries, if he's healthy, DJ Humphries for the contract that he's going to demand, he's not going to get what Stanley or these other guys are getting. You're saying that's not that his talent and the contract is not that much low. Talent-wise, he's not that much lower than Ronnie Stanley or Cam Robinson, and the contractually, he's significantly lower than all those guys. And you think that's more of a
so if because you got to make an argument either way. So if Stanley's sitting over here and he's been having if he's been having problems with injuries, right, and he wants 17, 18 million, okay? DJ Humphries, who was a perennial Pro Bowl left tackle, coming off an injury. Now you gave him time to get healthy. Could he at least mimic what he did a couple of years ago? Sure, maybe, possibly, right? And if you don't, you could get a guy like a Josh Simmons in the first round if you want to do that. Or maybe another guy. You could do that too. I'm just saying, if the cost effective, what are you getting over value? That's what you got to weigh. You got to weigh that out. That weighing if DJ Humphries is he going to be able to be healthy enough to play here? If he's not, then they're going to just let it go. They won't even pursue it. And so then they will go get a Stanley. They will go get a Cam Robinson, okay, and decide to do that. But if you're thinking about also too, well, what do we save money at? We get him for 18 million, but maybe DJ Humphries for 9. So you're saving 9 in cap, and then for a long term, you can save money and make it go to somewhere else. So I just, that's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it. I mean, if you trust DJ Humphries enough, I haven't seen DJ Humphries out there on the field. I don't know that. So this is just me knowing from his past what type of player he is. For the little bit that we got from last year, seeing him on the field, I thought he did a pretty decent job. I loved his feet. Okay, so Stanley might be able to do it. Comes from a different system, right? Comes from a different system. We know DJ Humphries, he comes from a different system. Kyler Murray, throwing the football, maybe doing some running. But now you got Staley, right? King Henry, Lamar Jackson. So,
yeah. And that's the thing, too. That's something that a lot of fans need to understand is that there's drawbacks to all these guys. People may say, oh, Humphries, injury prone, whatever. He had the ACL, whatever. These other guys, too, they come with their own little baggage as well. Stanley is 30. He's 30 years old, has missed 36 games over the last 5 seasons. This past year was his healthiest season. So had nice and timely that it was his contract year that he was healthy. But 36 games over the last 5 years is a lot of games missed. Cam Robinson has missed. Ronnie Stanley has missed 36 games over the last 5 seasons.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, a lot. But this year was his healthiest season in a while.
Okay.
And then Cam Robinson, 30 years old in October, he's 29 right now, has missed 15 games over the last 5 seasons. So it's average about 3 games a year, nowhere close to how many games Ronnie Stanley has missed. And then you look at DJ Humphries, torn ACL, comes back, played half a game against the Chargers, and then we didn't see him until week 18, and that was pretty much it. So coming off an injury, so that's its own thing. Probably won't get anywhere close to where Cam Robinson or Ronnie Stanley are going to be making. So that's kind of a thing. And I've also seen some fans think that potentially, it depending on how much DJ Humphries wants, you bring him on a deal, and maybe you can get Cam Robinson or one of these guys for 1 year, a 1 year, $12 million deal, and you bring in DJ Humphries as well, and you kind of have a full-on veteran left tackle spot. It just depends how much DJ Humphries and what these other guys are going to demand, and that's the teams are going to pay money at a left tackle spot. So that's
look, if somebody like people are saying it here, and I kind of agree with it. Cliff Johnson said Humphries with a rookie left tackle sitting behind him would be nice. I think so too. If they believe he can get it done, why not? That makes sense. Give that guy another year to develop because you actually really have it for another 3 years, and then if you don't use it at first. And so the same thing goes into Chief for 65 says maybe we save that pick for next year, try for left tackle next year. So that could be a thing as well. I don't know the tackles coming out next year, but hopefully it comes out all right. So
But I think the problem with that is we have, we draft around picks 30 to 32 every year. We're going to get the same type of talent at left tackle every year. And it's just, I don't think we're ever going to be satisfied with that.
Well, move up. If he's your guy, that's why I said, if you really sold on the guy, you got to move up for him. You got to like really want him. Can you get down into like the teens to get a guy? If that's the case, you might be looking at the draft next year. Who's coming out? How many guys do they have? They'd be like, man, there's like 4 or 5 guys that could do what we could do. Okay, maybe save a pick for next year. So, all right. So which is pretty sure Veach has a lot more thought out plan than any of us fans have come up with in 10 minutes of Google searches. Well, for sure, I'm sure everything I'm saying, they've thought about this. They've been talking about this, and they're weighing it out. So
yeah. But if Nate Taylor's correct, which, like I said, he's been kind of off this offseason so far, the Chiefs they're big fans of Ronnie Stanley, then,
Why you all on Nate, man? What's going on?
No, I'm just saying he's because, I think I said to a lot of people last week, Nate knows his stuff. And like because people were dogging me saying like, oh, you're taking Nate at his word. I'm like, you guy knows his stuff. And he's been wrong. So it made me look bad, JD, You're making me look bad. I gotta preface your record too.
Look, man. Well, listen, I think Nate does a hell of a job, right? There's some things he's not gonna get right. It's just I think he's out here like everybody else. He's an insider for sure. Yeah. Here's a couple of things, but then GMs will throw people off. They go home and sleep on it. They come up with a whole different thought process.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we trading Joe Thuney. What? Like, yeah, I slept on it last night. Thought it's going to be the best deal.
Yeah, people have been throwing around his tweet, his report from last year that Chiefs fans need to get going on research on Curtis Samuel and Darnell Mooney, and then we didn't get either one of those guys. But again, the thing about Nate is I know he's an insider. He does great work. I'm a big fan. That's why, I went 10 toes down on the guy defending him last year when people were saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm like, what? He knows what he's talking about. Yeah, because a lot of people just don't trust Nate Taylor's reports. I do. I'm just saying, this year has been his best year so far. That's all. We win some, we lose some. The theory about Nate is he's getting his information from somewhere. It's not some random Joe Schmo on Twitter saying, oh, Chiefs are going for this guy. It's like, what? You don't know what you're talking about. You have no sources. Nate actually does have sources. So if his sources are telling him something, he's going with it. And we're lucky to have Nate as far as, letting us know what's going on.
Listen, Marcus, I have been in the business way too long to know I don't trust none of them jokers saying anything. And I'm like I said, Mal says whatever. And I'm just like, hey, man, that's why I said I'm ready for, ink to paper. I need to see it. And, if you want to, if people want to, show it and expose it at the time, cool, whatever. We'll talk about it then. But all the speculation, I can speculate a whole lot of different things, for people to do it. I don't think he's just doing it for clickbait or any of those things. I think he, like you said, he has a real insider that probably gave him something. So,
yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah, Jerron Mitchell, Nate be off. Yeah, why you talking about Nate like that, man? Let him get a little sip in if he want to. And Jerron.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.